Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Box of the Technical Trader at thetechtrader.com. It's Saturday, the 21st of December. This is the weekend webinar, and obviously an eventful week with a plunge on Wednesday, a sharp snapback on Friday. But what does it all mean? We're going to find out. But look at the chart on the S&P. Possibly some sort of topping pattern in place. But if they take Friday's low out, that's 58.32, then I think we come down to 5,700. We may come out a lot deeper than that if these trend lines break. Big support zone in here, and I would think this lateral price support to me is the ultimate test of support. If they break that, and that's right around 56.95, 5,700, let's call it 5,700, give or take a couple points, maybe 56.75 in that range, that would be signaling me we go a lot lower. For now, this rising channel is still intact. The snapback was important. Closed right on at 50. It should be intriguing next week. I'm not sure which way this goes. That was an engulfing bullish bar on Friday. Let's see if there's a follow through. NASDAQ 100, same kind of pattern. Bounced near the 50. Finished way above the 50, but just under the 21-day moving average after bouncing back off the 10-day. Again, a little bit of different pattern than the S&P. Can pull this back a little and call that the trend channel line. But anything underneath Friday's low won't be good for both NDX and S&P. So under 20,900, we can be vulnerable to 20,300, maybe even down to 1967. That's your key support zone for me on any pullback. Other than if that doesn't hold, we have a much deeper retrace in store for the market, because that's the major trend line. It goes back 2 years plus. About 2 years. Let's take a look at the IWM, which is the small caps. Really got hammered and rolled over. A lot of these small caps do get some year-end profit taking, tax loss selling, etc. This one went from 245 to Friday's low to 06, about 39 points, 15% drop in a month on the IWM from top to bottom. This also bounced. It has some key resistance at Friday's high. We can get this back up above 224.5, 5. You may be able to see 232, where there's big resistance. Moving average trend line, lateral price resistance. A lot of work to do. The market is in a weird shape right now, and it's very critical. The transportation index is absolutely thrashed. In the last month, Tranny, which had made a new high here, 17,845, came down, let's call it 2,200 points, or also about 15%. So in a month, to drop 15% on transportation index, certainly not confirming what we're seeing in the S&P and on the NASDAQ 100. So caution is the word of the day indeed. Let's take a look at the underlying indicators. The McClellan oscillator hammered down to minus 220. Now if you take a look at the last couple lows here, 225, 237, 252. So anywhere between 225 and 250 on 4 or 5 occasions in the last couple of 3 years. So that each time we got a rally off that level. Therefore, you can see the rebound we had on Friday, and an engulfing bullish bar as well. And we should get at least back up to like flat or somewhere around there and see what goes beyond that. But each time we've had that kind of a bottom, we've had a good extension on each of those rallies. Cause for optimism, perhaps fuel for a year-end rally. Let's take a look at the others. The percentage of stocks above their 40 dropped precipitously in just about 3 weeks, from plus 65. In other words, about 5 out of 8 stocks or something like that were above their 40. And by Friday morning, 1 out of 6 got down to 15%. Right now, and it closed at 2060. So that also, if you take a look at that, several times in the past we reached those levels, we rallied back. Now we did get lower on 3 or 4 occasions, getting down to 13, but reaching 15 was damn close. The VIX, what a pop, what a drop. And this is why the UVXY went to 31 and dropped to 22 on Friday. Check this out. You know, we traded it nicely. I've got everybody out there on that spike up here. And certainly you had support there and there that got broken. You had ample time to exit this stock. So from 7 a.m. in the morning pre-market, when this thing was 31, by 12:30, it was 22.5. And after hours, it finished even less than that. So we'll see. But the key is that the VIX itself spiked to a level we haven't seen since the August low, and then came down really hard. It finished at 18 and change. What does that mean? It just means that the market fear became reality quickly, but then the market rallied and fear dissipated a little bit. All right, let's take a look at the major components. Apple, obviously, phenomenal long-term chart. Here's a weekly. Doesn't get much better than that, does it? Maybe it does, maybe in NVIDIA or something like that. But anyone who held Apple all the way had no problems. At this point, you can see 255 an all-time high. And it closed at the high for the day going away within a few pennies on Apple. So Apple's extremely bullish. Amazon came off the high the week before, 233, reaching 216 and change, losing 17 points, only to rebound quickly on Friday with the market to 226, about 9-point rebound to finish on the day up to 77. Nice reversal bar. Google hit an all-time high early in the week at 288, and he got hammered with the market back to 185, only to finish at 194, and actually up 447 on the day. Nice. The reversal bar. Microsoft doesn't look as bullish. Had a minor breakout early in the week, then got hammered with the market, but it did bounce Friday, although I'm not impressed. NVIDIA, well, folks, other than Friday, this is one of the weakest of the pattern. Looked very toppy now. It did come down to support and rebound with an engulfing bullish bar, moving from 126 to 136 nearly, almost 10 points. Still, though, below the declining tops line. It's going to need a move, in my opinion, up to 138.9 to really turn this one around. Let's see if there's a follow-through. And of course, Tesla, which was a monster for so long, finally got hammered the last 3 weeks. But last 3 days. Look at Wednesday's high of 488.54 is an all-time high ever, and it's gone 200 points. I'm not kidding. From 284 to 488 or something like that in the last couple of months. Pretty amazing move. There's support around 285 at the 295 zone. Let's see what happens next week with that one. Wouldn't hurt if that helped the market by bouncing. It's one of the Nasdaq generals that did not have an up day on Friday. It's actually down 1281, about almost 3%. All right, so we'll have some ETFs to talk about that we follow closely: the semiconductors, financials, biotech. SMH got down to massively important. Look at this trend line. This goes back 2 years. SMH not only tagged that, but tagged lateral price support as well. And what a snapback. From 233 to 245, 12 points, finishing right there at the high for the day or near it. Let's see if we get an upside follow. This is a very bullish engulfing bar. When I say engulfing, it engulfs the entire prior day by far. Key resistance, 250, 255 zone. Get through that, then you have the all-time highs up here, 260.23. Oh, sorry, not all-time high, but the last 6-month highs. So SMH, financials, really took it on the chin. Look how far this thing went from the August low, 109 to 185. 75-point time up move, multiple waves, and then the rollover. Rollover broke the trend line, broke the moving averages with that one bar, but there was no downside follow-through yet. This is your support zone. We get through that, it's a big problem. On the upside, we can take out the declining top line and through 160. I think the market would really be reversing sharply higher. And biotechs, the worst of the group, in my opinion, got hammered here, got hammered there. It's a 1, 2, 3. We got down to key support in that zone, just a little bit above it at the bottom of the channel, and bounced on Friday. Also, a bullish engulfing bar with a closing of the upper end of the range. But this one has work to do, a lot of work to do. Oil continues to go lower, but the USO, or at least the oil, has been stabilized in this area. It come down, bounced, and then it got choppy right in here in the 69 to 75.6 range. It's really going nowhere right now, but it's in the process it's forming some sort of wedge. We'll see what that means soon. UCL looks the same, maybe a little more negative. Gas, well, boy, looks like it's about to make a move, I think. We'll see. I took a look at 4 days in a row here, 7 days in a row there. So basically, it's 11 to 13 days that oil's been up, and it's taken out this declining top line. I think your targets would be to retest 53.5, 3/4, and then go up to 60. That getting more bullish. I like the on-balance volume rising and the green technicals. You can see the underlying. Looks like this is turning around. So be careful about KOLD and trying to bargain hunt this one, because right now you can see there's a triple bottom that took out on Friday, closed below, which means that we could see a spike up in oil and a slam dunk down on KOLD. Gold, I'm still not impressed. I don't know why everybody's excited about gold. Look at this. Is this a head and shoulders, or is this a long trend line that was broken, retested on a three-wave corrected rising bear wedge? Yeah, that's what that is. Right there. And then it dropped down. So, and this has to reverse on big volume. And right now, the technicals don't look good either. That looks quite toppy to me. The GLD is a little bit better, meaning that it hasn't come down as much, and it certainly hasn't broken support yet. And it's still above the internal trend line. So I'll leave it as a neutral pattern that has to get back over 251 or so to really make a run and take the whole planet with it. Nugget, quite negative. JNUG, same. But oversold short term. We'll see if we can get any kind of bounce. The silver stocks, well, HEQ, same thing. It's a three-wave corrected down move. Or is it corrective? Or is this just we're looking for 4 and 5? Again, there's no reason for me to get excited about gold and silver. And that covers the indices, the industry leaders, the NASDAQ 100, I should say, underlying technicals, and the major ETFs that we follow. There's others, of course. But for now, let's move on. We have a lot of stocks to talk about. Airlines really strong because of oils that remain low and the profits are rising. This is just American Airlines. But check out Delta. United is a monster. This one has gone from high 30s to mid 105 range. Pretty amazing triple type of move. Southwest, not as strong, but Alaska is very strong too. About 33 to 67, double. So I wouldn't chase these because I think they're way extended, but I just wanted to see how strong the airline group's been. Tech stocks, some very strong. And when you want to talk about what's the strongest or best looking chart on Wall Street, and this could be one of them. 24 to 114, and a beautiful rising channel, almost perfect. ARQQ comes out of a long downtrend, breaks out here, backs and fills, pops to my target around 40.34, and then comes down hard. But look at that reversal bar on Friday. 19 to 30 in one day. 30.80. So you got to consider that bullish. And the underlying technicals look great too. Targets 40 and 45. ARQT, beautiful base pattern. Breakout 1, 2, 3, 4. Fifth wave's underway, maybe extended already. But I'm looking for 18. AS, strong 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then still moving. That's another beautiful rising 45-degree angle. Looks like 32.3 might be a target. ATGL breaks out of a base, V bottom, wedge, wedge, flag, wedge. But I guess this is more of a wedge too. If you look at it this way, stay tuned. Right there. So when your stock stair steps up like that, you got to stay with it until it breaks support, which right now is about 11. Target 20 and 24. Anomera, tech traded swing that broke out here. We put a swing on. It's been nothing but up since then. It's gone from 3.5 to over 9, nearly a triple. I would not be shocked to see this extend into the low teens, maybe 11 and 12. AVO broke out on Friday with big volume. Take a look at this long 2-year base. It's a beauty. I now have a target of 16.5 3/4 after the breakout on Friday. Now, that point is something I've been showing you for over a year, and it just keeps rising. After breaking out and pulling back, and it's been trending, and now been accelerating, and now really accelerating. So it could be in blow-off mode, and it is near the all-time high. Be careful with that one. How about BlackBerry? Coming out of a base pattern, retesting, pop. And now Friday was a monster day for it. 278 to 370, up 72 cents, 24%. But volume was heavy, 41.7 million. Near secondary resistance, your target's 4.5, and then 5.5. In the AI sector, BBAI breaks out of a rounding bottom, retests, and then spikes. After that, it did a 1, 2, 3, and reversed off the trend line and the moving average. On Friday as well, engulfing bullish. Well, not engulfing, but reversal bar. The target's 3 3/4 and 4 3/4. BE with a breakaway gap is a tech traded swing, and then it ran to the target. Now it's pulled back to retest. Love to see it hold here and go up again, targeting high 20s, low 30s. Bristol Myers, one of my favorite pharmaceutical firms, with a long downtrend, took it from over 80 down to 40, reversed, coiled, another one, and now another one. Targets 61, 65, 68. And Boyle is what we told you about earlier. It looks to me like it's turned around. Dutch Brothers, this restaurant chain or coffee shop chain, breakaway gap and running. Target 58. BitDeer in the crypto world, multiple tops exploded through, and then a falling wedge. Might be a 1, 2, 3, 4. And if we get crypto to make another big run, or Bitcoin goes to 125.30 or whatever, 120.25, this might be 35. BYRN, one of our tech traded swings. Beautiful long-term chart. Broke out. Wedged again. And look at this lately, the run lately. I took this one from breaking out of that wedge from 18 1/4 to 30 very quickly in about 2 weeks. What's the target? 33, 34. CAPR, very disappointing. It had one of our bigger plays this year. It exploded literally from the high single digits into the 23.40 range. Coiled for 2 months, and then it got hammered. This breakdown was followed by a snapback that did not take out resistance, and then everything curled over. And at this point, it's in a very precarious position. It doesn't hold 12, 12 1/4. It could be hammered to 9.5, 10. If it breaks out, you might see it move back to 16.5, 17, but there's going to be problems and heavy resistance along the way. In the cruise sector, all the cruise line stocks are doing well. Look at Carnival. 13 to 27, doubled. Looks like it's going to 30. CIEN, beautiful long-term chart. Breakout, rising channel. Spikes to the top of the channel, pulls back, but it doesn't look done to me. This is new multi-year, if not all-time highs. Yes, the highest level we've seen on Sienna in 23 years. A move like that could be huge. Stay tuned. Sienna could end up being a big number. CLBT, fantastic chart. Rallying bottom, breakout, rising channel. Continues to go. And Friday in particular, jumped another 141 or 6.6% to 22.70. Hit 23 at the high. Continues to look great, but it is at the channel top and overextended. CLPT, breakout, consolidate, spike, falling flag. Don't think it's done yet, folks. 1819, 24.5, both targets. This could be a swing. Generics, low price stock that went nowhere from 85 to $1.15 for a long time. Breakaway gap 2 weeks ago, and now this. I don't know if it's able to continue, but that is a bullish coil wedge pattern, flag pattern, whatever you want to call it. Targeting 4 and 5. Cocoa finally breaks out of a big consolidation zone. It took it a year to do that, but look at the long-term chart. Breakout, rising flag, looking for high 30s. Cardiff, breakaway gap, spiked up, pulled back. I'm targeting a run at these highs in the 6.25 range. CRN Tech Trader swing breaks out. We put a swing on it. It ran up to my targets. It's consolidating beautifully. Now, it did pull back during the week and Friday reversed. Targeting 9 and 11 and 14. DAO, I believe it's Chinese. Dow and pop wedge or coil. Pop mini wedge and then pop again. Holding right near there. Targeting 9.5. DOX breaks out of a base with a breakaway gap, forms a coil, pops and forms another one, and then explodes and forms another wedge or coil. Friday broke out of that. 63, 70, 75 targets. DSP, beautiful long-term chart. It's taken it from 3.5 range to low 20s. Negative bar on Friday. Careful on this one. My stop would be under 18. DXYZ, pop, ascending bull coil, and then another explosive move and pullback. Looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4 to me, folks. If this goes again, I kid you not, 90 to 100 is my target. EHTH, long downtrend, rising channel, accelerated with a breakaway gap, and you can see what that's done. 2-day inside trades makes this a wedge, target 9.5 and 11. EOSE, starts a new uptrend here, does a 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth wave is well underway, and maybe nearing a point where the stock needs to be sold, but it has extended from like 60 cents to 4-inch range. ERJ Tech Trader swing, which I believe we put out in the low 20s, has made it to the, I think it hit 40 recently and then backed off. Yep, 40.34, and you can see now the pullback consolidation near the trend line, but a little bit below it actually. Careful with this one. For me, stop on the 34.5. Etsy breaks out, wedges, and pops, put a swing on it, immediately pull back. Needs to hold it right about there. If it does, 63, 67, and above are targets. EXTR, big downtrend, took it from the low 30s back down to 10, 11, but it started a new uptrend, and it's in a beauty. At resistance here, we have a gap to fill up there. That's my target, 20. FEIM originally put out a Tech Trader swing here, but it did nothing for months. It finally popped, retested the apex, and then went vertical. Friday was a beautiful engulfing bullish day. It's very thin, folks, but this stock could be in the mid to high 20s. Flex, a Tech Trader swing as well, broke out, pull back, pop, now flagging. Next target, 44 and 48. Fastly broke out. We put a swing on it. It ran up to the target zone and then pulled back right there. I'm looking for a retest of 12 and then 14. Grid Dynamics, beautiful base, breakout, spike up, pullback, and now making new highs. 23 target. Geo exploded after the election. As Trump favors privatization of prison management, which is what they do. It went vertical for a bit, and now it's got beautiful coil developing. And should it get above 30, which is your target, we could see mid-30s. GLW, Corning, formerly Corning Glassworks, that's why the GLW. You can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 waves up and now consolidating. Careful, and it may be less reliable. Stop on the 46. GRRR takes rate of swing there, then came down and tested and exploded. From that level, pulling back to 370, and then running to 14, 37. That's almost fourfold. Beautiful chart. Still looks good to me. Look at the technicals. Haynes brand breaks out of an inverse head and shoulders and rounding base. Trending. Target 9 and 11. HSAI explodes out of a base, forms a wedge, pops, forms another wedge, and then explodes but backs off. Needs to hold 10.5. Targets 14 and 17. AMAT. This is one of the better looking charts in Wall Street as well. It has come down to the trend line here. So it needs to hold right at that gap and then snap back, targeting 120 and 129. Data, one of my favorites. We were long this stock in here and again in here. After this wedge exploded out of it, it's now flagging. Target 65. Intap. Nice base, breakout, rising channel, reversal on Friday, 75 and 80 targets. IONQ monster. This stock's really run. Look at this, folks. In September, put up all you wanted to 6 3/4. Exploded to 47. 7 times your money nearly. Call it 6 times. It doesn't look done yet. 60 and 70 are targets. Jets, an ETF for the airline group. You saw the airlines. As long as it holds 23.5, I'm good with it. My target's 28.5. Joby, Junior Aerospace, exploded. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave pullback in the night, reversal on Friday. Retargeting 9.5 and 10.5. Kingsoft, this Chinese cloud company, breakout. Look at this gap, 3 days in a row. You don't see that too often. Consolidate, gap again, run again, pull back and flag, changing the channel angle a little bit more like this. Still, if it goes through here, 12 and 15 are possible. Kodak breaks out of a base, explodes from 4 1/4 to 7 3/4, and then does this. Look at the overall structure. Should it get through here, it's going to go vertical to 9, 10, 11. KULR, pop, pull back and explode, and then wedge, and then pop again. Last week was big for this one. Literally went from about $1.10 to 3, tripled, and is extended, and is near resistance. But I think it may have a little bit more upside, maybe 3.5, 4. LAES, junior semiconductor that had a breakaway gap, exploded and pulled back on Friday, reversed. That should stop. A lot of stocks are going to have key support at Friday's lows, folks. You may want to set your stops below that on most stocks. If this extends, 4 1/4. LFVN, a beautiful rising channel, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves on the way. This could, though, extend, and I would guess about 22.3. Lemonade breaks out of a big base, multiple year base, breakaway gap, strong surge, and now a nice pullback channel retest. It was successful on Friday with many others. Just a sec. Okay. So you can see the bounce. Keep your stops under that. Target 52.54. There's Superfoods. We've been all over this one since it's like under 3. It reached 10.35, and then later on 10.90 for the reversal. But it's still above everything. Support, trend line, etc. If it does go, 10.90, 11, 14, and 17 type targets. Lunar breaks out here, coils, pops, wedges, and nice reversal day Friday. I want to see this move up across here. Once it gets over 15, it can take off with targets at 18 and 22. LX explodes, coils for a month and a half, and then explodes again. Now flagging. I think we go to 7. MBLY popped out. We put a swing on it. It ran up a little bit, then consolidated, tried to break out, pulled back. It wasn't a good day Friday for this one in particular, and it's in jeopardy of a breakdown if it doesn't hold it in here. NGNI, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th wave underway, but it might be a 1, 2. The beauty of this one is that a triple, quadruple base pattern top is broken, and now it's being retested. My target's 22.3. MIND went vertical the last couple of weeks from 3 3/4 to over 8, and it's remained in this sharp rising channel. We could see an extension to 9 or 10. MNPR went vertical in October 24th from 4 to 38, pulled way back. Now it's way back up in the high 20s again. A very interesting chart, interesting story too. MLB Junior Communications Equipment Manufacturer broke out, went through the multi-year high, and backed up, but reversed on Friday. There's your support. Again, Friday's lows. This might extend. I'll give you a target of 5. Micron broke down. That's a tech-traded swing shorts in the wrong section. MYO. Well, a beautiful run up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up, and then a long consolidation. Tried to pop, and it did, but didn't get through the prior high and backed off and coiled again. Breaks out again. This time went through and is retesting here. My target, 8.5. NANX is a tech-traded swing after popping and wedging. It went from like 2 to 288.90 and then pulled back. It's a low price puppy. I think we get to 3.5 and 4.25. NBIS. Well, great swing here. I just put a new one on. It hasn't followed through yet. We do not want this below 24.5 3/4. I would put a stop there. My target's at 29.30 and then 34.5. NNE in the nuclear energy group, it's been taking now 3-4 weeks to consolidate its big run of late. If it does break back out, we're looking for a retest of the highs in the 33.4 range and then 45.48. Could be a big one. Netgear, beautiful chart since May's low of 11 range, 32. It's tripled nearly, and then pulled back but held the gap and popped on Friday. Let's see if this one extends. Targets 31.34. Nutanix, one of my long-standing all-time favorites. We made money with that here and here, and now again in this range. But it's pulled back in the last 3 weeks. It's got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave corrective retest, engulfing reversal bar Friday. Looking for 69.70 and 74.5. NTRA, a tech traded swing since way back here in March when it was in the high 80s, made it to the high 170s, doubling 175, and now it's pulled back to test. If it goes 199 target. NVCR breaks out of a base, breakaway gap, and now a new rising channel is underway, which tells me this might be in the high 30s. NVNI, I wanted to show you this because last week it went ballistic in 5 days from 33 cents to $12, 30-fold, maybe 40. Always be cognizant of something that has that kind of MOMO with 93 million shares on Friday. But it is due for a pullback. It may consolidate, it may go higher, we'll see. OKLO, another of the 4 stocks I follow closely in the nuclear energy group. Key support held, it bounced and pulled back, and now it's bouncing again. If it gets up above 22.85, I think we'll retest the 27 range, and then you're on your way to 30s and 40s, maybe. Omeros, a beautiful spike in November, and then a sharp pullback. But look at the gap on Thursday, only to pull back again and test the gap. We'll see if this one goes again, but it gets above 14, your target, we're looking at 17, 18. ONON, beautiful rising channel for this footwear accessories company. Big engulfing bullish bar off the moving average and trend line on Friday as well. Target 63.69. Optics exploded with a gap, pulled way back, filled the gap, tested the prior high, and then reversed on Friday. Targets are 5 and 7. I don't know if that's going to happen, but boy, it's a volatile stock. Paymentus, beautiful rising channel, backed off key overhead resistance, and it's engulfed. Well, it reversed off the moving average. That should stop under there. If it goes, target's 38 and 45. PAO, a tech traded swing. I believe I gave this to you on the breakout. It's run up beautifully and now pulling back. Near support, near the trend line, near the 50-day moving average. If it holds it, your targets are 12 and 14. Palantir, one of the strongest stocks on Wall Street, in 2 years has gone from 6 to 80. and just recently spiked up in a breakaway gap, and now it's running from that level at 42. It's gone to 80 just in the last 6-7 weeks. It's a monster. Don't know how far they take it. Keep raising your stops. Friday's low is a stopping point for me under 73. Poet, tech trader swing, popped, broke out, popped again, broke out, and now it's consolidating. There's a really nice, for the most part, rising channel, and the double top up here and there, 5 3/4, 80 in that range gets you through there. We're looking at 8 Ppta, beautiful base, breakout, wedge, pop, a mini wedge, target 15. PRCH, pop wedge, pop wedge, pop wedge, pop wedge, and this time it came down with the market, but it held the gap, at least so far. Reversal on Friday tells me that Friday's low is your stopping point under 4 1/4. Targets are 6 and 7. PSTG exploded and pulled back. We put a swing on it. It then popped and pulled back again, held. This is your key support. Stop under 60. If it gets going, 68, 71, 74 might be targets. Peloton. Well, since they got a new CEO, the stock's been ripped. 1, 2, 3, 4. This looks like it might be ready for another move if it holds Friday's low. And the target might be Peloton 12 and 14. PayPal, beautiful rising channel out of a base pattern. It's pulled back of late to test everything. Once again, Friday's low under 84th stop. Targets 91 and 96. QBTS, one of the better moves we've seen in the last few weeks, along with QUBT, which was a swing. This one goes from under $1, folks, to 10.50. So more than tenfold. Took about 6 weeks. Now the pullback, is it done? Well, if it isn't, the angle of ascent says we can go to mid-teens. QFIN comes out of a base, breaks out, coils, pop, another one. Really good rising channel. Momentum could take this to 45, 48. QMCO explodes, coils, and then it goes ballistic. One day, 22 to 64, and then the pullback. Pullback takes you right down near the prior high and bounces. Stop under 29.5. Now, it's a long way from 44, so we'll have to look at that closely. QUBT was a tech trader swing that really worked. Pop, pullback, pop, breakout, coil, another explosive move. In the last week and a half alone, it's gone from 588 vertically to 27, 5-fold increase, 5-fold in a week. And not only that, but from the October low, it's 70 cents. Anytime we go from 70 cents to $27, 35, 40-fold increase in 5 waves, you better be cognizant of the fact it could be vulnerable. QURE explodes, pulls back, we put a swing on it. I like the way it's setting up. Target 23. Red Cat. Beautiful rising channel, accelerated, pulled back, and now it's wedging. And we get to this level, Red Cat could go to mid to high teens quickly. Same with RDW, long rising channel, pullback is held. Engulfing reversal bar Friday, 17 target. Rigetti, how about this move in October, trading at 73 cents. Wednesday's high, 12.75. About a 15, 18-fold increase in just a month. And came down hard and tested the trend line and moving average, and then reversed on Friday. If it does get above your 12 3/4 range, you might see 17 or 18. But again, keep your stops under Friday's low. Rivian is trying to break back out again, then came down with the market and reversed. Just keep an eye on it. Targets 15.5 and 17 potentially. Rocket Lab, monster, just since last April when it was trading at 3.5 to 28. Not bad. More than 7-fold increase. And look at the flag, whatever you want to call this, coil flag. My target is 40 plus. I'm not kidding. If it breaks out above a high at 28 and change, look out. SEI, base, breakout, flag, another coil, and then a really strong move. just in the last 6-7 weeks, 12.75 to 32. If momentum extends, we can see high 30s, low 40s. SCRV, I like this chart. Base, breakout, retest, explode, retest, reverse. Targeting 17 and 22. Sangamo, pop coil, pop wedge, and then pop another breakout. So let's see if we can get up through that pattern. Targeting 385 and 5. Sky T, another semiconductor that exploded and pulled back and then reversed. Again, support about 11.75. Retesting 18 and 21 would be targets. SMR, another of the nuclear energy stocks with a long 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-way move, in my opinion. Now in a down channel. It reversed Friday, but you must keep stops under Friday's low. That would be under 17.5. Potential targets are 24 and 28. SOUN, strong channel, pops out of a mini base, forms a little wedge, and then explodes. Literally from 5.75 to 23.75 in a month. Again, another example of a stock that had momentum that broke down and reversed with the market. Should this get above 24, it looks like 30 is the target. SPIR, 1, 2, 3, 4, right off the moving average to 50-day lateral price support, and a gap in here that it filled, or almost did. So I'm looking for more upside. 15.5, 17, 19. Teva exploded Tuesday and has continued, and I think goes higher to 24 and 27. TKNO pop and rising channel continues. Let's get through this high here. Above 890, my target's 11. Repositrak, TRAK, beautiful rising channel. Had a sharp pullback, but what a nice reversal Friday as well. You know where to stop it. 28th target. Now TSLA is a tracking stock for Tesla. We've been trading that nicely. It literally in 2 weeks went from 19 to 41, more than doubled, then pulled back. I don't want this below 27 to stop. TVTX broke support on Friday and had immediate reversal. Let's see if that is meaningful or not. Right there. Long-term trend still intact, I believe. Umac pop flag and then explode. Reversal bar. Brought it down and now it's got a coil. If it should break out back over 13.75, I would look for 19 and 25. Vimeo, breakout, retest, tech trader swing, and then swung around from 6.5 to almost 8, and then pull down to retest and reverse on Friday. So you know where to stop it. Targets are 8 and 9. VRNA, and a fantastic rising channel from a low of 11.45 to a high in the mid 40s, and almost fourfold, with flags all along the way. This is a coil. Target 49. Victoria's Secret breaks that up here at a breakaway gap, and then it has a beautiful rising channel. Once you get above 50, target is 60. VST, the fourth of the nuclear energy stocks, and maybe the leader. After rising, this is a tech trader swing, by the way. It had a nice momentum from 134 to 168, and then turned down and tested 134 again. Again, you need to hold this above 130.31, but your targets are 150, 165, and eventually maybe 180.90. Vuzi broke out of a base, went vertical, came down hard on Friday, like many stocks have reversed. Extension target is 6. Wave, pop, long falling wedge, breakout wedge, larger one, and now the pop, double top is 17 range. Yep, we can get through that. Looking at 22 and maybe 28. WGS, tech trader swing since back here has done nothing but go up from the mid-teens into the $80 range, mid-80s actually. But you can see now consolidating for 7 or 8 weeks. If it gets through here, we're looking at 105 and then 125. WKEY would exploded move. And now a 3-4 day pullback before Friday's reversal. Again, stop under Friday's low. We get above Friday's high, and The target would be a 9. We might get into the low teens. Warby Parker, beautiful long-term base. There's your breakout, strong run up, retest, and now engulfing bar on the upside on Friday. Looks to me like they want to take this higher. My target's at 30 and 35. X curve breaks out of a base after being quite spiky for months and explodes vertically from 2 3/4 to mid 30s. No kidding. 10-fold increase, and now this big wedge. Don't know if it's going to go again, but if it does, you can see the potential move on this is huge. Xena popped, pulled back, and then popped again with an inside day and pulled back, but you can see the double top there. Look at the underlying technical, it's quite strong. My target would be 12, but first target would be 9.5. And that's it on the long side. We got some shorts to cover, and we can finish up. AMAT. Look, if there's a top pattern in the semiconductor group, this is it. Left-handed extended V, almost an inverse head and shoulder. 1, 2, 3, 4, big fifth wave. We came down a wedge, we came down again and broke. We did reverse Friday, but I'm still looking at 148, 136, etc. ATI, very toppy looking, but it hasn't really broken yet. Get this one underneath this low, under 52. You might see 48 and 45. AVAV, long uptrend broken. It's forming some sort of wedge in here. I think it cracks this wedge and goes lower. Obviously, it depends on the market. If it does go lower, first target's 142.44, and then we're looking at mid 120s. Crocs, massive top, breakaway gap, rising bear wedge, came down hard, but reversed sharply, I believe, on earnings. You can cover this one, I would say above 116. We're close. If it doesn't follow through and reverses back down, your targets 97 and 87. Builders look terrible, but they're extended to the downside. I wouldn't be sure I'd cover. Nevertheless, we had a head and shoulder top on DHI, and then a 1, 2, 3. If we get a fourth wave up towards 140.50, 145.50, it might come down to 125 at some point. Guide wire broke and it's got a kind of a bearish, what I would call an inverse wedge. See it? So if it doesn't go up, it starts to roll over. You could see 158 or even less. HCA down too far too fast. The tech trader swing short has now reached my target, and I would cover. Although if it may not have reversed, but it probably will bounce. Harrow, toppy pattern, breakdown, bear wedge. We went short. Tech trader swing. It dropped from 44 to 33. Looks lower to me. I was thinking high 20s could be a target. Lidos came down hard. He got crushed and then formed a wedge. We went short. At a 166, it's dropped to 138. It's bouncing. There's a target right there. If this is a 1, 2, 3, we may get a fourth, at which point 152, 55 may be a shorting opportunity for a move to 134 or less. Lennar, another home builder getting whacked, probably needs to bounce in here before you do anything further with it. Logitech, massive top, broken channel, rising bear flag, and then a breakdown. My targets are 75 and 72, maybe high 60s. Micron broke hard on Thursday, bounced on Friday, but careful. If it doesn't get energy and volume, we could come down to 75, no kidding. From 157. NVO, what a break on Friday. Look at this. Head and shoulder top, breakdown, rising bear wedge. Rolled over from 112 to 74. ONTO, a semiconductor, looking like a breakdown. That's a bear flag, folks. If the market breaks and semiconductors tank, I would look for at least 150, maybe 135. OSK, something I just added this weekend, looks toppy to me at support. Nothing to do here until it breaks. Impinge broke down from the bear wedge. We said go short, dropped from 209 down to 137. And obviously people were covering Friday. It's at the bottom of the channel. And at 1, 2, 3, 4, and a big fifth wave down, that would have got me to cover. Parsons breaks down and forms this, what looks like a falling flag or something. It should have cracked. I tested a gap at 85 and maybe a fill of the gap at 79 would be targets. Qualcomm rallied late Friday or after hours on some kind of court ruling, but was breaking down earlier in the day. I still think if it doesn't bounce sharply here, it could roll over and get 138, 125. Look, I'm not going to go short or tell you to short the shippers because look at this drop. Scorpio Tankers has gotten cream from mid 80s to mid 40s in a large 1, 2, 3. So we may be due for 4 and 5 at some point. Tidewater in the oil sector broke a head and shoulder top here, broke down and formed the bear wedge. This is so typical of what I look for. What a drop, 88 to 47. Doesn't look done either, does it? TNK, there's another shipper with a head and shoulder top, but all the way down to my target. I would look for a wave 4 and then a 5. That could take you towards 26. Tetra Tech hammered, bear flag. Came down Friday but bounced below this line. And we cracked the trend line too, and then it's in trouble. Might see the stock in the mid 30s, even high 20s. UFPT, this is a head and shoulder type top or a rounding top, broke down, it's wedging. Heavy volume on the upside I would avoid. I would wait to see if it fails and then rolls over. Targets about 205 and 190. UHS, tech trader swing short, came down flag, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a big fifth wave down before the reversal. Creamed on Friday to 145. I don't know if that's inaccurate. Let me look at this. Yeah, that's not right. That's an out trade, folks. My apologies. Moving on, VRRM, head and shoulder top breakdown bear wedge. I think it goes lower. I'm targeting 20.5. Weatherford has been a tech trader swing since it broke from the wedge. Since then, it's gone from 110 to 65. That's probably cover territory, but bottom line is lower can happen, and 55 and 45 are targets. And finally, XYL broke a top, formed the bear flag, and broke down. I have a target on this one at 110. Lots of good-looking shorts as well, folks, but there's still a ton of good-looking longs. That's it for this weekend. A very exhaustive look at the indices, the technicals behind them, the ETFs that we follow closely, some of the others, and a long list of longs, short list of shorts, but definitely something to ponder and review for some good ideas for next week. This is Harry Boxer, otherwise known as HB. I'm out. Have a great weekend.